I think talking a bit further on the strategic sourcing element, I think there's probably a practitioner approach and a theoretical approach. The theoretical approach will talk about 7 steps, 8 steps, 9 steps, somewhere between the foxtrot and the samba. But the reality is, you're essentially doing 4 things. You're analyzing something, you're coming up with a set of findings, with those findings you conclude something, and then you're recommending. Okay? And that's essentially what you're doing. So my point from a practitioner point of view is the challenges that you're experiencing from a supplier development, from an economic participation point of view, need to build in to your recommendations, how do I couple that with? And that has to be a long-term view. You often find monopolistic or relationships with suppliers that are untested. I know from my Mondi days, one of the biggest challenges into South Africa was storage facilities. You could get all of the commodity you wanted in a physical sense, but to store it became a limiting factor. Now, how does one break that bottleneck? You cannot do it overnight. It's a strategic relationship. So no different to supplier development. Supplier relationships are grounded in capability. But unless you make a supplier strategy of dual sourcing. Now, typically, dual vendor strategies are around some sort of risk related to supply, but of a short-term commodity nature. But if you take a long-term economic view, your dual vendor strategy could be, in the interest of promoting local development, I'm going dual. And that does not necessarily mean that the one supplier needs to mentor another supplier. It means that you give a slice of the action to the smaller supplier. And not to be naive, all of this takes a lot of growth, a lot of investment from the company, because suppliers are not necessarily malicious when they fail or lazy. It's a learning curve. It's the hardships of economy hurts all business, and it's no different in the African context. And sometimes the support needs to be there. And as a bank, we've got entities like small business development, etc., focused for that specific reason.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.